All right, with a new World of Warcraft season comes new elite appearances, and today I'm going to look at each and every one of them and rank them based on the standard tier list. S through D, S being best, D being worst. Let's get it. To start off, we're going to look at this season's Forged Gladiator's Tabard. Prized Gladiator's Tabard. I think this is a great tabard. It's better than last season's for sure. I think you can make this work with a lot of pieces of gear. I don't think it's the best tabard I've ever seen, but I will give it a solid A tier. Coming up next, we've got the one-handed mace. Starting off, we've got everything is goblin themed. I really like the goblin themed weapons, but I really hate the coloration of basically everything, and I think purple as the elite PvP transmog is a little weak, or at least this shade of purple where it looks it's weird because it's like I'm saying cartoony, but like even more cartoony than World of Warcraft. It feels like comical the way the painting is. That being said, I think this mace is actually pretty cool. I love when weapons move. It looks kind of badass. I don't like the coloration, but I think that's just going to be a theme with the set. I'm going to give this mace the one-handed mace a B tier. Coming up next, we're going to go to the dagger. I don't like this dagger at all. I think this looks like a questing green from the Burning Crusade. I do like the little spell effects inside the dagger, so that's not bad, but I don't think this is an elite dagger in my opinion. I'm going to get it to C tier. Next up, we've got the gun. I hate this. I feel like there's 100 guns that look exactly like this. I'm putting this in tier. It is not that cool. Next up, we've got the Prized Gladiator Warglaive. I've seen some of this in the raid. I think this is one of the coolest weapons we've seen, like as far as like just being super unique. The chainsaws on both sides with the like engine coming out of it is really freaking cool. Again, I hate the coloration, but I think this is probably one of the winners of the tier. We're going to put the Warglaives in S tier because I think especially when you're considering it for this tier, this is one of the best things we've seen. Next up, we've got a pole arm. I do actually like this pole arm. Again, I like it when the items move and there's spell effects on the bottom. This is actually pretty cool. I really like this, and if I played a class that used a pole arm, I would probably use this. I will probably put this up in S tier as well. We may move it down later, but I think it's actually pretty cool. Next up, we've got the staff. I think we have two staffs, so I kind of want to rate the staff that I think is cooler. I don't think this staff is great. The spell effects of lightning are actually pretty cool, but I don't like the way it looks. It's weird that this is like goblin-y. It looks sort of like undead-y to me, unless maybe there's something about what's inside this ball that I'm missing. That being said, this staff is really freaking cool. Some of my favorite staffs are from the Burning Crusade, where they had like magical crystals on both sides with a little bit of glowing effects. This kind of takes that to another level and looks really good. Like the pulsating glowing plus the electrical, I would use this on any caster that I have with multiple sets. This is actually the winner of the tier in my opinion. I know I said that about the Warglaives, but 100% I like the staff better than the Warglaives. This is really freaking cool. Next up, we've got the Flame Sword. Again, this is a thing where I like the design idea, but then the colors just make it kind of weak. I don't know. It looks cool, not S tier, but I do like it a lot, and it is something I probably will end up using at some point. We're gonna give the one-handed sword A tier. Next up, we've got the dagger. Oh, this is the second dagger. This one honestly is just as bad as the other one, maybe even worse. I'm not gonna re-rank it, but if I was going, well, I'm not gonna put another one on the list. Yeah, I'd put C tier. I think that's fair. The Gladiator's Flail. This is considered a one-handed mace. It almost should go into a different slot. I don't know if there is another one-handed mace. This is kind of cool. I like flails in general in World of Warcraft. I actually think it looks like shit. I say it's cool because it's a flail, not because I actually think it looks cool. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this. I would not use with any transmog probably. I'm going to put the one-handed mace in C tier below the dagger. I don't think it's D tier, but it's definitely not A tier. Oh, this is an offhand. I don't have an item for this to go onto my tier list, but the offhand is actually pretty cool. I feel like it'd be hard to make it work with something, but if I was going to rate this, I would put this into probably B tier. I think it's very unique offhand, and it's got some moving parts and some glowing effects. I actually think that's pretty cool. Next up, we've got the Gladiator's Gasket. There's not a shield on this tier list too. I need to fix that, but I'm not going to do it right now. The shield is it's cool for what it is. I like how thick it is. It's got some spikes base on it, which I like on my shields. I like my shields to be like super beefy, and this is like almost there. It just needs to be a little wider. I feel like it's going to be hard to make this work with any sets outside of this season set. So for that fact, I would put the shield, I'd probably put it in B tier because I actually like the way it looks. It's just not anything amazing. Next up, we've got the fist weapon. The fist weapon is a shark mouth with a bomb in it that is going off. I have never seen anyone like use fist weapons ever, just in general, but I do think this is a pretty cool fist weapon. I would put this fist weapon up in the A tier, probably at the bottom of the A tier. I do think it's actually pretty cool. Next up, we have got the bow. The bow looks very basic. Again, it looks like something from the Burning Crusade, maybe a questing green. The only thing that makes it look a little bit more special is that we've got some movement and pulsing from these little electrodes right here. That does make it kind of cool, but I think overall it's very underwhelming. I would probably put this in B tier. Then we've got the prized gladiator's great saw. This, again, I love the two chainsaws, the war glaives, and this one. I think this is actually really cool. It's definitely not S tier, but I do think having this type of motion on an axe is actually pretty cool. I would put it in high B tier for now. I don't know. Yeah, I like it more than the bow. What just happened? Bro. Okay, where did it go? The axe. I'll put it in high tier. I think that's a good spot for it. Then we've got the Gladiator's Pulverizer, the two-handed axe. This reminds me of, I'm trying to remember what tier it reminds me of. I can't remember. A rocket hammer with a rocket coming out of the back. It kind of looks like Reinhardt. I think it's really cool. Again, the coloration makes it just so much worse than it could have been, but I do like the model of it quite a bit. It is something I probably would use. So for this one, I'm going to put the two-handed mace in the B tier below the axe. I have it filtered to all, and I'm not seeing a two-handed sword, a two-handed axe, a wand, or a crossbow. So this is my final tier list. The one staff winning it all, followed by the war glaive and polearm. I'm a little saddened by the elite sets this season, but you know, it's still cool to have something to work towards, and hopefully I'll have them all by this weekend.